Flosstube friends. I am Christy. I'm the crosshatch quilter, and I am so excited to be back here today to talk to you about stitching. Today is Thursday, January 11th, 2024. Happy New Year. I hope that you've had a great holiday season and that this video finds you well. We had a good Christmas. It was different than we had originally planned. We were going to go to Salt Lake and see my family, my dad and stepmom and my sister and her family and my son, but they got sick and we couldn't go visit. So we had Christmas here, which was great, and my daughter danced in the Nutcracker, and that was the highlight for sure. And I look forward to going and celebrating Christmas with my family in January. This is Flosstube number 30, and I'm going to do a 2023 finish parade. I was originally going to do a whip parade, finish parade, and just a regular Flosstube all in one. And as I was gathering all of my supplies and projects, it was just too much. It would have been too long of a video. So I decided that it would be best to separate them. So I'll be back next time with a regular Flosstube combined with a whip parade. So let's get started. I had 19 finishes for the year, which was better than last year, but still, of course, not as good as I would have hoped. That's how plans and things go, right? You always shoot really high, and then you know, it seems like every year at the end of the year, I'm like, oh, I wish I would have accomplished more. But I'm happy with where I'm at, and of course, enjoying the process is what it's all about. So I think this will be a little bit of a shorter video, but it'll be packed full of stitching nonetheless. I don't have these in order of when I finish them. I have them kind of in sizes because that's the best way I could organize my table. So one of my first finishes for last year, though, is Whitaker by Stacy Nash. And here is the finish on that one. He is so stinking cute. I just love him. And I did his little ornament. I decided to leave that on there. He's got his little scarf, and then I did the scissor wool holder on the back. I stitched this just with all the called for threads on 36 count beige by Weeks Dye Works. And I finished Winter Berries and Pine. I finished this one in December, and I stitched this with Lori. And this is an exclusive through Country Stitches Online with Thy Needle and Thread, and she'll release these in batches. You just have to keep watching her website. But this came as a kit. I stitched it with all of the threads, called for threads. I stitched it on 36 count gray by Weeks Dye Works, and it came with the finishing baker's twine and the rickrack, and then I put the fabric on the back and the little safety pin with some vintage buttons on there. So that's another finish. I really like to stitch Snowman for winter. I find that it's more fun for me to stitch Snowman than it is like Santa Claus, because then I can keep it up all year or all season. Words are hard today, apparently. Okay, and then in the fall I finished I Love Fall Most of All. This is another exclusive that is by Country Stitches Online by With Thy Needle and Thread. And I stitched this with all the called for threads. I don't remember the linen that I think it was 36 count chestnut by R&R. But there is my finish on that, and I just put some cute red and cream fabric on the back. I still need to gussy this one up a little bit with some accessory, like some trim. Haven't gotten to that yet. It'll happen. Okay, and then 2 more finishes. This is Honeybee Hill by Blackbird Designs, and I stitched both pieces. And this is an out of print chart. I'm sorry, I've got this one promised to a friend, but it is such a fun, I hope that Blackbird Designs releases that again. So here's the pillow, and this is called Her Majesty. And I stitched these with all of the called for threads on, this is a mystery linen. I just put some wheat fabric on the back there. And then on the Lone Elm shaker box is how I finished this next one, which is the Honeybee Hill pattern. I stitched this with all the called for threads and on a Lakeside linen, I think it was bisque, 36 count. So it's a little bit smaller than the original called for, which was 30 count, but I don't mind the little extra space around there. And then it's got the shaker box, which I love. Trying to fit all these on the table was a little bit of a challenge today. I can't imagine having a whip parade too. It would have filled up a whole entire room. I would have been surrounded and been stuck. So the next one is Sweet Summer Come Again by Blackbird Designs. And this one I just fully finished this week. And the small piece I finished into just a little tiny drum. And it is not perfect, but it is good enough for who it's for. And then here is the bigger drum. And I try to do, you know, little drum stitching around the sides. Did some brown fabric on the sides and the bottom. So there's that one. That'll be cute to display with some strawberries for summer. And Merry Friends by Plum Street Samplers. And I finished this exactly like it's called for in A Little Tart. And I stitched this with all the called for threads on the called for linen. That is so cute. I'm really looking forward to stitching more of these. I think that they really finish up really cute and just different. It's just a different finish than, you know, a pillow. Okay, so my goal for 2023 was to finish the Lessons in Abecedarian Schoolhouse series with a needle and thread. I finished one. I have a total of 2 finished now. So here is Summer Schoolhouse Lesson 3. I just finished this in December. And here is my finish on that. I love this so much. I stitched this with all the called for threads on 40 count mushroom linen by Whitaker. I just finished it up with some vintage, this is Lori Holt vintage trim, and then a little bit of sweet fabric that a friend sent me on the back. So I'm really looking forward to finishing the others. Here is a previous finish. This is the lesson number 1. So I've got 2 done now, and I have 3 small left to do. So I need to finish these little 3 pillows. So that'll be a quick stitch, I think, or I say that, but it'll be quicker than these big ones were. And then I want to do this horn book and the strawberry as well. So I'm looking forward to finishing these up. I'm planning on just working on them every week until they're done. All right. And then I had one more finish in the Keeper of the Threads with a needle and thread. And I don't have the chart to show you because I framed it. The cover chart is on the other side, but I just have this in my sewing room. But I finished up the last little pillow that I had to do in the series. And I fully finished this one yesterday along with it. So I'm completely done now with this series. Well, here's the rest of them to show you. And I've just put tomato fabric on the back. There's that one. And then red tomatoes on the other one. So cute. I really enjoyed stitching this series. It's super fun. And I finally found a vintage bird to display with this set. I'll try to insert a picture here of how I display that. Okay, we're getting to the bigger pieces now. Hopefully I can find some room so they don't go crashing. Okay, so in the summer, I started and finished Flag Flock by Plum Street Samplers. I'd say the majority of my finishes for 2023 were starts and finishes. I started them in 23 and finished them as well. So this one is stitched on 36 count vintage country mocha with all the called for threads. I'm excited to get that framed. I just found out my my framer that I always use, which is Craft Center of Fine Stitchery, is closing. So I'm so sad because now I've got to, I guess I'll have to frame more stuff myself. The next one is Maker and Mender by With Thy Needle and Thread. I had a With Thy Needle and Thread year, it seems. And I stitched this on 36 count vintage buttercream by Lakeside Linens with all of the called for threads, except a couple. I don't have the changes jotted down, but I changed the darker blue that was in the chart called for to these berries. And then I believe I added like mulberry from Gentle Arts to darken up the red, just to match my house a little bit better. We have so much snow here today. We woke up to probably at least 6 inches, so it's a little bit dreary and snow covered, or cloud cover. Okay, this is one of my very favorite finishes for the year, and that is Every Opening Flower by, again, With Thy Needle and Thread. And I stitched this on the 36 count Winter's Brew, which is called for with all the called for threads. And I love that. This is one I definitely will be getting framed this year. I just really enjoyed doing this lace look with the eyelet stitches. I really enjoy eyelet stitching. I know some people hate it, but I'm the odd man out. I really enjoy eyelets. Once you get into like a rhythm, they go pretty quick. Okay, so let me find the chart. This one I finished in January or February of last year. Winter Rose Manor by With Thy Needle and Thread. And I was brave and I finished, I laced and framed this one myself. And this is a frame that I had copied the idea from Lori. And this frame is from Hobby Lobby, but I don't believe that they carry it any longer. I have since then tried to find it for some friends, and I think that it's been discontinued. So, but I really love this one. I stitched it on 36 count dirty linen. The maker is no longer making fabric, but it's dirty linen, 36 count. And I used all the called for threads. I used conch for the house. The only change I made was I used grits for the white instead of the toasted or roasted marshmallow. So there's that one. I'm gonna try to set these down gently. Okay. And then this is another one of my favorite finishes for last year. It's Spring Fever by Blackbird Designs. And there is 9 of these in a series. I originally was going to stitch them all together on one piece of linen, and then I changed my mind and I wanted to just get them framed all separate as a collage on the wall. So this is the first one that I have finished. And I've stitched it with all the called for threads. They're all on different linens. This one is 36 count Wren by Picture This Plus. And then the next one, I'm sorry if you can hear my neighbor's dog barking. All the Hills Echoed by Blackbird. It's trying to have things fall. And here is my finish on that one. And I believe that this one is stitched on 36 count Oaken by Picture This Plus with all the called for threads. And then those two go great with Winter is Past by Blackbird Designs. Absolutely love this one. I stitched this one with my friend Lori, and we finished it in the springtime to celebrate that winter was surely past. Last winter was a long winter. Oh my goodness. We had snow so high that it was higher than my husband's truck, like the cab, or higher than the cab. Because we just got so much snow so fast, we didn't know where to put it. And our street like turned into a one-way street because there was just so much. They eventually started to bring in dump trucks and haul the snow away to take it to the dump because we just couldn't function. Okay, so here is the finish for Winter is Past. And I stitched this on the 36 count Oaken by Picture This Plus with all the called for threads. And this one has some specialty stitches in it, some eyelets and satin stitching. Love, love, love. I was so excited to get these back from the framer and up on the wall. I've really been enjoying them. Okay, and then in January of last year, I had finished Santa Stops Here. I stitched this on the called for linen, which is 36 count Winter's Brew with all the called for threads. And then I just finished lacing it and framing it myself in December. And this is a frame that I found on pictureframes.com. I have tried to since then find it so I could link it. Somebody asked me, and I'll try to find it again. If I can, I'll link it below. But I just love how that turned out. I really enjoy tight framing. I don't like a lot of space between my, stitching and my frame. So I really, when I ordered this, I ordered it really tight, but I really like it that way. So that was on purpose. And it's not perfect. It's not perfectly framed. I did it myself, but it's good enough. So that one has been really enjoyable. Okay, and for number 19, my last finish, but it wasn't, I didn't finish it last, but it's my grand finale. And that is Mary Bars by Stacy Nash. And I had just a tiny little start on this at the beginning of the year. And then in the spring, I just really worked hard diligently on it for a couple months monogamously because I wanted to get it finished. And I just got it back from the framer. It is huge. So there is Mary Bars in all of her glory. Oh, I love it so much. I'm so glad that I stitched her. I dedicated this one to my dad's mom, so my paternal grandmother. And I put her and my grandfather's name on it. She was born in 1877 and she died in 1958, Mary Edith Hunter. And she married Robert Dick Coates on January 22nd, 1897. So I was so excited to get this back and framed. I am stitching a sampler for each one of my grandmas. So they'll go on a genealogy wall in my front room. And I've just really been enjoying this. I had big plans last year of finishing quite a few samplers, but after I finished this one, I just kind of got burnt out and I focused more on seasonal stitching and year-round stitching for my home. But my plan is going forward to at least have one reproduction sampler going on at all times. And I still stuck true to that last year. I have been working on Elizabeth Furnace. with Hands Across the Sea. So once that one's finished, I'll put one back in its place, so I always have one going for a grandma. So thank you so much for letting me share my 2023 finishes with you. I really enjoyed my stitching last year. As always, it's such a huge comfort. And when you stitch, you remember what was going on in your life at that time, creating memories, good or bad. And I just really, I'm looking forward to having a great 2024 stitching year and sharing it with all of you guys. Until next time, happy stitching.